Lawrence here, and I'd like to welcome you to The Real Grill. Today, me and the boys are going to be grilling DC League of Super Pets. So, DC League of Super Pets is about Krypto, the super dog, and a Superman who are inseparable best friends. They share the same superpowers and they fight crime side by side in Metropolis. However, when the Man of Steel is kidnapped along with the rest of the Justice League by evil super pet Lulu, Krypto must convince a ragtag group of animals to master their own newfound powers for the rescue mission. With that out of the way, let's get cooking.
This week we are, diving back into the DC universe. Would you consider this DCU? I don't know.
Not really. No, I wouldn't. But I guess, I guess technically it is, but I wouldn't consider it.
Well, it is. It kind of is good. It's like DCU. It's multiverse, isn't it? Like it was hinted. It's like multiverse. Multiverse canon. Once you say multiverse, anything can be canon, really, isn't it? Like,
yes, exactly. Before we get into the actual story, the movie, do you guys know any of the history behind the League of Super Pets, or are you familiar with any of the previous stories?
I'm loosely familiar with Krypto, Super Dog.
Same.
But that's about it. And there's been, I've heard different ways in which, he comes to be Krypto the Super Dog. I think this is the first time I've seen that he hopped in a spaceship with Superman. So I was like a bit skeptical about that. But for all I know, maybe that is somewhere in the comics. Who knows? I don't know.
Okay, so it hasn't always been that he's from Krypto as well. He's basically a Kryptonian as well. Like he's a Kryptonian dog.
I thought he was actually just a normal dog. Well, a dog that was experimented on.
That was experimented.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the movie, like he's from Krypton, isn't he? Because he's like as a puppy, they're put in the same. So, like I'm kind of confused because not only does Superman just so happen to look exactly like people from Earth, but also the dogs are exactly the same. What are the chances? What are the chances?
Remember, multiverse. It's a different universe, mate. Krypton has the same animals as Earth.
Yeah, exactly, exact same.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you think about it too hard, it falls. Well, potentially it falls apart. But I won't say it's not within the realm of possibility, because the realm of possibility is infinitely vast. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you try to pick it apart, you probably will be able to, because highly unlikely. But yeah, I had the same thought.
So does anyone have a good grasp on the story? Just wanted to give a quick background of the story.
So I think we start off with the destruction of Clark Kent's home planet Krypton, and you see his parents Jor-El and Lara putting him in the spaceship, and his pet dog, a puppy at the time, Krypto, jumps in the spaceship with him as the planet is exploding, and they're sent to Earth. They then grow up to be best friends and save Earth hundreds of times together as Hero and Super Pet. So that's the main start of it. I think at some point Lex Luthor has some plot to grab some orange kryptonite out of the sky that's landing, because he believes it can give him superpowers, and then the Justice League show up, including Krypto, to stop him, and they think that they've solved the problem. However, there's a group of pets that are currently trapped in an animal shelter, and one of those pets is a guinea pig named Lulu, I think it is. Who is was a guinea pig test subject at Lex Luthor's lab, and she was put into the shelter by Krypto in the past, and she has super intelligence for some reason, I guess because of experiments and stuff, and she grabs a shard of the orange kryptonite, and she realizes that the kryptonite only works on, well, she says pets, I assume she means animals, I don't think they have to be a pet. And she gains superpowers from that. So I think that's like the entry point into Super League, from what I remember.
I've only got two comments on that. First, I don't think they're trapped. It's like they need homes, so they've been placed there. They're not trapped. It's just.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he keeps trying to escape.
They were held against their will.
And the second point is, I don't actually think Lulu had super intelligence. I just think she remembered what the thing.
Well, she was experimented on. She was experimented on.
She created a tractor beam out of crap. And that ain't super intelligence. I don't know what is.
Well, it was supposed to be. It was. I think it was just meant to be, obviously, because Krypto is meant to parallel Clark Kent Superman. They wanted the villain in this to kind of parallel Lex Luthor as well. Lex Luthor was intelligent. They wanted his kind of pet thing to also have intelligence. Whether that's because of the experimentation or not, I don't know. But that was obviously the reason behind why she had to be that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Krypto's an alien dog. This is a normal guinea pig.
Well, just to say as well, just to also flag, also like Lex Luthor loses all her hair as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the connection.
That was really drawing the between them.
Yeah, exactly.
And if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember. In Smallville anyway. I'm not sure if that's the case in the comics too, but Lex Luthor gets some of his. Does he get intelligence from being exposed to kryptonite?
No.
He just loses his hair from the kryptonite. I don't think he actually gets intelligence.
No, his immunity to certain things also increases as well. I think it did give him like immunity to something, if I remember correctly, as well.
Okay.
Yeah, like where it wasn't like an overt superpower or anything like that.
Yeah. But then, anyway, also as well, you've got obviously like Clark Kent is getting engaged to Lois Lane.
Correction, Superman is getting engaged.
Oh, Superman. Oh yeah. That's right. In this universe, Superman is getting engaged.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like in this universe, he doesn't really hide his identity. Like, I suppose everybody.
Well, no, his dog does. His dog hides the identity in this universe.
Right. Yeah,
Remember, Krypto's the one who wears the glasses, like disguise.
Yeah, Bart Kent and all that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's meant to be about obviously Krypto trying. The main story is about Krypto obviously trying to find friends, become his own dog, so to speak, and detach from Clark and find himself.
I think they are trying to stress that it's a different universe because it's black symbol Superman as well. It's not just white background.
Yeah.
And Green Lantern, Green Lantern is a woman in this as well, so I guess you can.
I think there's actually a part of the movie where I can't remember where someone, I think Lois Lane calls the Justice League Tower, and the auto message is like, "Oh, you calling for Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3?"
Oh yeah,
so that is the implied multiverse. Yeah. So yeah.
How do you guys feel about?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask how do you guys feel about how the Justice League were represented? Like, do you think they were given pun intended? Do you think they did them justice, or was?
Why did you do this, bro?
I don't know where it comes from, man. I don't know. Just stop my head, man.
I think the approach to this movie is not to take any of this seriously.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's meant to be for kids. It's meant to be funny. It's meant to be a comedy. You shouldn't take it too seriously. Because obviously some of the Justice League heroes were a bit clownish, to be honest with you, in terms of some of the stuff they come out with. But it was a kids movie, so I don't think it's that deep. Because the movie's not about them; it's about the pets. So that's why I think they've taken a backseat, and that's why they were a bit clownish in certain aspects. Because it's more of a comedy than a proper superhero movie.
Yeah.
So
because
I approach it like that.
I don't really see the Justice League being taken down by naked hamster.
Nah, probably not. But you never know. But yeah, no, I kind of agree with you. I feel like they were they were made to be more comedic, more like sort of comic relief in this movie. Even Batman, who's played by Keanu Reeves, which I think is fantastic casting. He was played to be more comedic than obviously his live action or other sort of animated shows. And I liked the kind of vibe. I liked the energy that this movie had. It was pretty upbeat most of the way, and the story, I feel like the way it was the way the story unveiled, it was told in a way that's very easy to follow, as most animated movies are. How did you guys feel about the sort of story in general? Was it interesting? Was it boring? Was it kind of
I mean, for me, it just felt like a mirror kind of story of what you would expect to see in a Superman kind of story. It was literally it was the fact it was Krypto. So you had obviously the thing where you know, he loses his powers. I'm pretty sure Superman has lost his powers on a number of occasions. You know, he's trying to find his way, trying to find out what it means to be a hero and independent. And then you also had the thing where he looked to his father for guidance. I found that hilarious, by the way, because I was just like, really, they went there as well? Like,
yeah.
But his dad just like, you know, is he gonna have like his own like den of like solitude or something? I don't know.
I was trying to ignore that point.
But the story I thought was quite simple, but it was what it needed to be. You know, it was enough for it to be fun. The real humor came from the characters rather than the story.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And the jokes, bit on the subject of humor, I thought like a lot of the jokes are actually pretty good. Like they weren't like laugh out loud funny, but they got a bit of a giggle from me here and there. Especially the scene you brought up with the his father, the Jor-El, the K-Man. Dog-El, sorry. Yeah, thanks for putting it up. See, it's just little jokes like that, just kind of that really get me. It's the silly ones. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the level of humor was pretty consistent.
Yeah, and it wasn't too overpowering actually as well. That's another thing. It didn't feel too overpowering, like they were trying too hard to be funny.
Yeah,
which I think is also something that works in its favor. Just to touch on as well, you said obviously it's a kids movie, but yeah, man, that tortoise, bruv, like a lot of beeped out profanity.
Yeah, you know what? I was wondering, like, did they?
Questionable.
I was wondering, like, did they show this movie in front of like a test audience, and then they just after like the whole kind of profanity driven tortoise, yeah, did they just do the beeping after showing the test audiences, or is that part of the gag? Like, I don't know, like if
I think it's part of the gag.
Okay.
Because it's a PG, isn't it?
It is, I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I want to see the uncut version. Like, I want to see I want to hear what she's saying.
I think it's pretty clear the stuff that she says. I think that's why calling it a kids movie was a stretch, because there's very, you know, kids who watch this movie, well, most older kids anyway, are gonna know what those beats are filling in for. But
yeah, I think most kids nowadays will probably know what those beats are filling in, to be fair, because of the internet. So
this is the thing.
Like, so it's one of them where everyone can laugh along with it, and they can keep their PG rating. So yeah, it just
pretty smart actually.
Yeah. So we haven't mentioned obviously the two stars in the movie, obviously.
Oh yeah, that was my next thing.
And Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you lot, but I'm getting a bit tired of Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart movies. I ain't gonna lie to you. So I probably came in with that.
You want to separate them?
So wait, what else have they? So they've done Jumanji, obviously. Those are the biggest.
Central Intelligence.
Central Intelligence. That was another one.
So two Jumanjis, Central Intelligence.
I think that's enough, man. That's more than we need.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man.
And it's just the fact that both Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart literally are the same character in every movie they play, even when they're not together.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Hart is always the same. Dwayne Johnson is always the same.
It's true. It's so true. And when you're watching a movie, me personally, when I'm watching a movie with them in it, like, I'm not saying I hate them as a duo. Like, I feel like they're both incredibly talented entertainers. Yeah. But the kind of the vibe that they have when they're on set and like when they're filming a movie, it just kind of reminds me of Thor: Love and Thunder, where it's like it's just a sketch. The whole movie is a sketch more so than an actual story where you can get into the story and root for the characters. You're just kind of like playing along with their joke.
Yeah, because it just seems like a Dwayne Johnson, a Rock and Kevin Hart movie, not a DC superhero movie. Because they're just so. Because they're so powerful, that they're big characters in terms of like they're always the same character. You always know who it is. You know exactly what the movie's gonna be like as soon as you see who they've cast in it. Because obviously the name recognition, they play the same people every time.
Yeah.
So it's the same jokes, just different words basically.
Yeah.
Like, you know, He's the over the top. Kevin Hart's obviously the over the top like comic relief, and then Dwayne Johnson's obviously the straight laced superhero who can fix all the things. Just they would just turn them into dogs. Like it's just the same.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, I would say this because usually I find that it's all about Dwayne and Kevin. Yeah, that's basically the main point of the movie. The story usually plays second fiddle. Apart from, I mean, Jumanji was more of the concept that was good rather than the actual story. Yeah. But I felt with this one actually did have a lot of heart. Again, no pun intended. With the whole actually the character that was played by Kevin Hart. What was his name? Duke, the dog, the invulnerable dog.
Ace.
Is it Ace? Sorry, yeah, Ace.
Ace.
Yeah. When you find out his backstory, find out how he got into the predicament he's in, that really kind of gives exactly. Yeah, it's that depth to the story, and I was like, right, okay, this is a Kevin Hart. I can't believe this. I'm getting these emotions from a Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson movie. So stepped on.
Although I did think it was a bit of a piss take when they conflated like his backstory with Batman's backstory at the end.
Oh yeah.
when they were talking side by side, my family. What was it like? My family was taken from me.
I was taken from my family.
That gave me a good laugh. Like,
that was funny,
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Batman had that comic relief element to it, which I actually do like. That it just gives it's a bit of a change. You're not used to seeing it.
It wouldn't have worked if they'd used the brooding, miserable Batman in this. It just wouldn't work.
Nah, of course.
I work alone except for Alfred. Robert. I swear he was like my tech support as well. My tech support.
Lucius Fox and my company. I work alone.
I have to say, the disrespect of the actual Justice League was part of the biggest humor because I think Aquaman had the biggest disrespect in the Vision.
Yeah, they violated him.
And hang on a minute, pause. What was up with Cyborg's half Afro, bruv? I thought that was I was like, hang on a minute, bruv. Half Afro, they really went there, bruv.
You know what? I was picturing the other side just like in locks under the metal suit. So he's got the other side plaited, didn't it?
Yeah, just
half an afro. I was like, nah, I think someone should have called out and been like, this isn't right there, bro.
I mean, the most disrespectful Cyborg was when they took his batteries out. I thought that
they took the batteries. They took the AA batteries out of his back, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, you didn't disrespect Cyborg like that, though.
Disrespect, bro.
I was just thinking like he probably got electrocuted or something, because that's what happens to your hair, like when because obviously he's got part of like machine parts and that. So. Yeah, man. There's different design choices on the actually like talking about the actual animation, which is what I wanted to get into. Did you feel like this movie looked like just another animated movie, or did it have a distinct style? Which because I'll find out what you guys think.
So I don't really have the eye for that, so I didn't really notice too distinctly from other animated movies, to be honest.
Okay.
It did look quite similar to the other animated DC movies, to be fair.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I think in terms of not just DC but in general, like 3D animated movie, I do think it had some distinct features, but obviously I don't think it measured up to like Disney quality animation. It did seem to yield a bit more to the lower budget style animation, but it was colorful and it was good enough what it needed to be. And it did have some distinct elements. It didn't look like you wouldn't watch it and feel like, oh, Disney made this kind of thing or Pixar made this. I didn't get that vibe from it. It did feel like it was its own kind of more lower budget distinct thing, which you're tending to see more of those coming out of the woodworks.
I mean, I liked the actual animation. Like, I felt like it wasn't quite Pixar, as you were saying. It wasn't quite on the same level with the whole lighting effect. But I did like the design, like the actual character models. They made them look, I don't know, this style that kind of, when you're reading like a children's book, I guess, you kind of sort of imagine that. But I felt like the direction and the editing could have been better. I mean, it was just kind of your, run-of-the-mill kind of animated movie. I'd say it's nothing that really will, you know, change a generation. It's not like Into the Spider-Verse where it kind of is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I still felt it. I mean, yeah, it's not something I would complain about. Like, I still enjoyed it. And I thought,
it was what it needed to be. And I think more than anything, the characters combined with the animation are very memorable. I do feel like the actual characters are quite memorable with their counterpart animated animal selves, like, you know, with Tortoise, the pig, and the dogs. They were quite, and even like obviously like their kind of costumes. Oh, by the way, also mentioning as well, speaking of animals, what's it called? The guinea pig, the main guinea pig villain. Was that giving anyone Doctor Strange vibes? Like with the
the cape. Yeah. Actually, you know what? It's a good.
How the powers looked a bit as well. Like the color of her abilities, the orange, like it was giving me Doctor Strange.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And you know what? I don't know. That might be deliberate because I remember Clark Kent made an Iron Man joke. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
So he's like, he's shaving, and he's like, no, not shaving. Sorry, what is he doing? He's like,
he was ironing his shirt in the mirror.
Yeah,
so like, call me Iron Man. Like,
and I was like, how does that work? So wait, is this like a multiverse thing, or like, do they have Marvel comics?
Again, don't think about it. Don't think about it, bro.
I think it's just they're just trying to the last.
Just laugh and move along. Just laugh and move along, bro. Just laugh and keep it moving.
Oh, it is. Too much for.
Man. What else?
Yeah, so Lulu, the main villain, she recruits a group of guinea pigs, obviously, and they all get different powers. So you had the fire guinea pig, the ice guinea pig, the
rainbow
wings, rainbow one, which is the huge.
Looked like it was about to be hype.
Did the guinea pigs not remind you of the X-Men?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, the powers, but a lot, even the regular animals, like the protagonists, they kind of had X-Men powers as well.
Actually, now that you mention it, the big kind of guy was a bit like Beast. Is it? No, not Beast. Sorry, Wolverine, Sabretooth. Sorry. The big guy, So I guess the few of them did kind of feel a bit.
As they were showing off their powers, I was like, did you just summon the X-Men? What's going on here?
Yeah, the guinea pigs, bro.
I think DC just take a shot at Marvel. To be fair.
Yeah, I think they
put you very a bit not quite in your face, but fairly subtle. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. I find that the DC tends to have like funnier animated stuff when it comes to their animations rather than actual live action. Yeah,
and it definitely was. I did feel like this was leaning more towards a darker kind of. It's still for kids, but it was still fairly dark. Like they were talking about killing people, like taking lives and stuff. Again, not something you'd expect a cute little kid to be saying in a.
I mean, I actually thought that cat was the best thing in the movie.
The rocket ammunition cat.
Yeah.
Horror movie style, bro. It was creepy, Chucky style.
that cat's tail freaked out there.
Oh man, but. Yeah, man. I don't know if there's much else to say other than what touched on. The music wise wasn't particularly memorable. Just your standard kind of superhero themes. There weren't really any memorable like theme tunes throughout the film. So yeah, nothing much on the music, and we discussed animation already. Characters are definitely the highlight, and the voice acting.
Yeah, I think Kate McKinnon as Lulu, I thought done pretty well as Vin. I thought she was quite entertaining. So I thought done a good job on that. And I'm not sure, has The Rock done voiceover work before?
Yeah, he did. Moana.
What movies?
He did Moana.
Okay, yeah, Moana. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, because I know Kevin Hart has, but because I thought I thought everyone done good job. Going, sorry.
Yeah. Who is the female Green Lantern? Because I don't know any of the female Green Lanterns.
Oh, as in who? I'm not even sure. I don't know. I've not seen a humanoid, like a human female. Actually, no. There was actually a Green Lantern cartoon movie which came out, I think, this year, which did have a female Green Lantern starring in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Which it may have been her.
Yeah, maybe she's an obscure character in the comics.
Maybe.
Yeah. I guess it's
I
more.
mean, it's nice they didn't use Hal or I forgot the other guy's name already.
John Stewart.
John Stewart, yeah.
Yeah.
They get overused a lot.
Yeah, she is a real Green Lantern. I think her name was Jessica Cruz. I think.
Oh right, okay, yeah, that's her. I think she was the one that she popped up in the Green Lantern movie that came out earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken, or last year. So yeah, she is not just someone they made up out of thin air.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense to make one up because there's just so many of them. So yeah,
they got a whole corp and different universes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that yeah, sorry, go on.
No, go for it.
No, I was actually going to change the subject, so I don't know if there was anything you guys.
Go ahead.
Yeah, all right, sorry. I was going to ask more about if anyone knows like the origins of the orange kryptonite, because I've like never heard of it before. I don't know if that was again made up for the movie.
They listed a number of colors I've never even heard of. Like they mentioned purple kryptonite.
I feel like that one must have been made up, unless there's a DC Superpets comic, because it's useless to humans and it was only useful for pets. I feel like either they made it up for the plot, or there's a Super Pets comic that is included in. So, but yeah, I've never heard of it.
So Google the list of different kryptonites. Like I said, they listed a bunch of colors in there. I was like, there's a purple kryptonite. What's going on there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it is part of DC's history because, like, looking it up, there is a lot of results. So yeah, I think it's something that it's probably like more of an Easter egg type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys wanted to get into final thoughts, or are there any other like things that you wanted to sort of explore?
I'm good.
No, again,
not
just
much.
Yeah, I think we've covered all bases. Really, I think pretty much.
I was just gonna say, yeah, just to point out, like, obviously, like, yeah, there were some really humorous bits. I think there was another bit which got a giggle out of me, which I kind of felt bad for laughing at as well. Is when the pet shop place was burning down and the pig. I think the pig said something like, "Oh, like why is my mouth watering? I'm smelling bacon or something." And I was like, "That's a bit."
Yeah, that was disturbing. That was like
that was questionable. That was questionable. That was a questionable line. Like, oh, like that's a bit questionable. I think. Yeah, some people may not be happy with that. I don't know. But yeah, I felt like it was a bit of maybe a potential inappropriate line. Obviously with you know, what's happening with animal cruelty and stuff, and you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Just things like that. That was just one line came up, which made
most people like bacon, so it's all good, bro.
Again, Laura's trying to light up the comments, bro.
Oh man. Yeah.
I'm actually not sure if there are more people in the world that like bacon than don't anymore. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I feel like that might be a losing battle.
Yeah, a bit of a tricky subject there, a bit of a tricky one. But yeah, man, I'm just gonna get into my final thoughts if that's all right.
Go for it, man.
Yeah. So, coming into this movie, I was kind of apprehensive about watching it. It's not like a movie that I was desperate to see. Even there was a lot of hate this movie was getting before it came out, because I think people were just kind of sick of DC putting out like, putting out sort of just films for the sake of putting them out, and the fact that I think Kevin Hart and The Rock, it just felt like a very studio sort of manufactured, uninspired movie. But I was, pleasantly surprised watching it. It was actually pretty funny, and the animation isn't spectacular, but I like sort of the action scenes, like the bit with the little kitten that had like rocket launchers and stuff in a tail, and like when they showed the Justice League using their powers along with the pets. Again, that I thought that was really fun, and like something that kids, if you have any kids with you, if this will be a film that their eyes will be glued to, even if you're not. So it's perfect as a sort of entertaining movie for kids. And overall the characters were really likable, quite endearing. Story was pretty shallow, although there was surprise emotional moments there from Kevin Hart's character Ace. But yeah, all in all, I say it was pretty juicy, although slightly bland at the end. I mean, a bit of blandness there as well. So a bit of a mix, I'd say, a bit of a mixed bag. I'd say I'd give it about a 7 7 out of 10. Oh, is that too generous? I don't know.
It's up to you.
Okay, maybe I'll give it a 6 because again, it's nothing worth. Like, yeah, I wouldn't say it's something to kind of really write home about, like tell everybody about. But it is if you've got someone who's young and just wants something to be entertained by, it's a pretty entertaining movie. But not really. Anyway.
I think I'd agree. I think the thing for the movie is that, like, we touched on it a number of times. The characters and the voice acting are what drive it. The animation's nothing spectacular, and I think the thing with the story with these kind of things is, you got a movie about animals where it's literally about animals that are counterparts to existing superheroes. You can either be creative with it and do something unique, or you can almost create like a paste mirror image of kind of a story which we already know, which is kind of what they've done with Krypto. It was kind of like a bit of a rehash of the whole Clark Kent Superman story in part, so it wasn't anything, like there wasn't a wow factor to it. So I think with something like this, if they really wanted to amaze you, do something original, do something which is unique, do something unpredictable which you wouldn't expect to see on screen rather than something familiar. And I think for that reason, even though it was enjoyable to watch, it was laughable, definitely wasn't a bad movie. I had my eyes glued to the screen and I didn't feel like turning it off at any point. But yeah, it was just a bit predictable. And it almost felt like just a long cartoon episode, to be honest. It didn't even really feel like a movie so much to me as just a long extended episode of something where maybe I would, if they'd done something like a Krypto the Superdog series and you see a different episode every week, or League of Superpets, different episode every day, every week, I can imagine it being like that, rather than as a movie. So yeah, I think I'm right there with you with like a 6. It was just pretty much nutritious, but nothing special. It's what it is. I wouldn't force anyone to it or necessarily recommend it to people. But if you've got nothing to watch and you want to up for a laugh, by all means, jump in.
I mean, I think I'll go next. For me, I don't think it was marketed towards me to start off with. It's a kids film. The kids would enjoy it. Take your kids to see it. They'll have a laugh. I won't say I didn't enjoy it. There were a couple of bits where I laughed. Some of the jokes were funny. Some of the situations I was like, maybe giggle a little bit. But again, it wasn't really a movie for me. I would just give it a 5. It was bland, not much seasoning. At least not for me, anyway. Maybe some people like it like that.
Okay. I agree with Cam. Obviously, it's not, while it is a kids movie and it's not really marketed towards us. I was thinking back, and there are kids movies out there that have themes in there that appeal to adults. This isn't that movie. This movie, I think, is pretty much directed for kids. A lot of silliness. The humor wasn't really. I think there might have been one joke I might have giggled at. Overall, it was just a bit predictable. Nothing stood out. Nothing was amazing. Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart. Basically, I feel like I've seen them in this movie like over and over again. So I don't think they did anything that stood out to me either. I would go with a 5 out of 10. It's just average, bland. Where's the seasoning? That would be my final verdict.
Cool, man. Ruben, I can't believe you scored this higher than Nope. Like, I'm just like, how? Like,
I knew you were gonna pull me up on that. I knew you were gonna pull me up on that, dude. I was thinking, like, should I just laugh? I knew you were gonna pull me up on that. No, but it's true though. Like, I'm sorry. Like, again, like, I found the film. I found Superpets to be fulfilling, watchable, and I haven't been left. Like, I can get on with my life. Do you know what I mean? But with Nope, that's the kind of thing where it's like, I had to jump online and watch reviews and do research and still at the end not get any answers. But I guess Superpets is on the complete other end of the spectrum. It's just an easy watch kind of thing, and sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's just that's just what you need. We're all busy, bruv. So we don't have time to be taking degrees online, bruv, and all this complicated mumbo jumbo.
That's all good, man.
I scored it higher than Nope, and I stand by what I said.
Yeah, but no.
Ball and Bunda higher than Nope as well.
Oh my day.
Why you got exposed man like that for, man? Why you got exposed, man? People can go to the other videos.
You know, that's just gonna.
That's why I keep these records, bro. To expose people.
Bro, bro. It will stand for all the time, all of eternity. You scored.
It's fine. But
you know what?
I will represent the layman.
Bro,
I'll represent the layman.
Represent the no haters, bro.
No, you know, it's such a divisive movie. So, like, don't feel any type of way about feeling the way you feel about the film. It's completely a legitimate opinion you have, and a lot of people agree with you. So, a lot of people.
I wasn't criticizing your Nope review. I was criticizing your For Love and Thunder review.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. What did you score? What did you score for? Yeah.
You gave me a 5 out of 10.
Bro, it's like one score away, man. Come on, now,
yeah. What can you say?
Like one number away, you know. And
moving on 1, so
to be fair, back then we didn't even have our rating system. Do you know what I mean? So if we were to redo it, maybe I'll give up 4. You know what I mean? You never know. I doubt it. But.
Thanks for taking the time to watch our review of DC League of Super Pets. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and we'll see you for the next review. Thanks a lot, guys.